Hare Krishna. I met Srila Prabhupada in 1971, Calcutta Airport. I've been in India for about 1 year, traveling around as a seeker, looking for God. And then finally I met the devotees in Jagannath Puri. Happened to be Rath Yatra Festival. And then they showed me Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. I already was reading a couple of Bhagavad Gitas I have, not Prabhupada's. I couldn't understand. But when I read Prabhupada's Gita, then every unanswered question I had, Prabhupada fulfilled that. I'm saying every question that I had, or inquiry that I had, Prabhupada's books answered that, and so clearly. And whereas all the other Bhagavad Gitas I was reading, they were kind of, they're all impersonal, but they're all kind of vague. Everything is kind of vague. But Prabhupada was so positive. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are His eternal servant. Here is service. Here is the spiritual world, the home of Krishna, the gopis and the cows and the cow. So much information we were searching for, and nobody had practically any idea. But then Prabhupada, he told it to his Krishna, who is God. You're searching for, here he is. This is his activity. This is what he looks like. All this, so much information was there. We were in ecstasy because we were searching for the promised land and things like that. But nobody. It was just a word, some utopia. But Prabhupada gave it. It was all realized. It's truth. He gave it as a truth that Krishna, God is a person. He has his own pastime activities, etc. So I was so happy when I read Prabhupada's Gita, because all my doubts were finished and gone. I immediately accepted Krishna. I didn't think I'd become a devotee. I didn't know what a devotee was. But anyway, from Calcutta, from Jagannath Puri, I was going to Calcutta and then going to Banaras to meet my brother, Pankajangri Prabhu. And so the devotee said, you're going through Calcutta, we have a temple there, you can have a look. So I went to the temple in Calcutta. Yeah, and everything was there. The deities were there, the devotees were there, the chanting was there, everything. It was all new to me. It was all great stuff. I loved it, every moment of it. I immediately accepted Krishna consciousness. And and then the first time I saw Prabhupada, it was in the Calcutta airport, and it was one of those instances that devotees have when Prabhupada kind of looks straight through you, And so I was a new devotee there, but the other devotees there were doing Harinam in the airport, waiting for Prabhupada in the airport. And then suddenly Prabhupada just appeared there, like a genie popped up or something like that. And so he's very grave. He walked with a cane and he would hold his head up high. And then he stopped in front of the kirtan and he just looked at all of his disciples there. And then he looked at me, the new bhakta, and he just looked straight through me, as if to say, I'm not seeing what you think you are, all this ego you have, all these different identities you have. I'm seeing you as Krishna's servant, and I'm coming to take you to Krishna. This was like the mood of the glance. And I was thinking, I'm standing here in Calcutta airport, I'm completely naked, and the whole world is watching me. I have nothing to hide from this man. He sees everything. So it was my first impression. And I had everybody went up and offered garlands, and I had a garland. I had a little brass bowl also with flower petals. They said when Prabhupada comes, you to throw these rose petals. So I went up and gave the garland. I also had the little brass bowl in my hand. And as I put it on the garland on Prabhupada's head, the brass bowl struck his eyebrow. It wasn't hard, but it didn't. It made a little ding, ding, as I put the garland on his head. But I was right close to him, and I put in the garland on. Generally, if something comes near your eye, you get a reaction. You pull your head away. At least you'll blink, but nothing. Eyes didn't even wave or one little, even though I'd actually touched his eyebrow. And I thought, wow, he's completely undisturbed, completely tranquil. My idea of spiritual life, complete harmony with everything and nature and God, and walk into the water and no ripples come out, That I saw in Prabhupada, and a lot of people had the experience, what they thought was spiritual or God-like, they saw it when they met Prabhupada. I don't think Prabhupada was showing it, I think Prabhupada was revealing it. This is what you're searching for. You take shelter of my devotee, he has it, and you can learn from him. So then we went back to the Calcutta temple, and Prabhupada already began his lecture. So this was the first time I've heard Prabhupada live. First time I've heard Prabhupada live. And so I was all ears. And he's the greatest saint I've met so far. So, I was really, really attentive. So Prabhupada was speaking, and he said, so you do not try to see God. And I thought, I thought that's what we were supposed to be doing. I thought we were seeking God. And so many young people were seeking God at that time. And now he's his greatest saint I've met, and he's saying, don't try to see God. Then he clarified. He said, but you act in such a way that God will see you. That means bhakti. So Krishna can be known by bhakti. So we act in that way in devotional service. That Krishna will recognize. The devotee will recognize. So that was the first impression. I was initiated there in Calcutta. Ras Purnima Day. And my name was given, Jananivas Das. And this is 1971. 1972, we just started the Mayapur project. And I was asked to go there and help. I was cooking, actually. And there was a few devotees, Achyutananda Maharaj, Naranaran, Prabhas Prabhu. They were making arrangements for the Gopurnima festival, 1972, first ISKCON Gopurnima festival in Mayapur. So I was cooking there at that time for the devotees, and they were making all the arrangements for tents and things like that. Anyway, it was a big success. Prabhupada came, he attended the program there, invited all of his godbrothers. Prabhupada personally climbed down the hole there and laid Anantadeva, right where the TOVP is now. And so Prabhupada came, he stayed there for a few months. Also at the end of the year, end of 1972, he stayed for some time there, up until Gopurnima. Yeah, and like that, then the Radha Madhava deities, they were there in Calcutta. Prabhupada had just finished his first tour of his Western Vaishnavas, first tour of India. It was a big success, especially in Surat. You can see in that Hare Krishna film, Hare Krishna World. see the ecstasy that was there. Anyway, those Prabhupada had these Radha Madhava deities with him that were donated when he was in Vrindavan, one Mr. Dalmia, which Prabhupada kept with him, and he was traveling with these deities all around India. And they got to Calcutta. He said they should stay here. So then when we began the Gopurnima festival, they came to attend the program. And then at the end of the program, Prabhupada said the deities should stay here, they should not leave. And we said, well, where will they go, Prabhupada? He said, where the devotees staying? No, he said, Prabhupada said, the devotee said, where will the deities stay? He said, where are the devotees staying? So we only have this straw house at Bhajan Kutir. I said, okay, they can stay there till we build a new temple. So deities, Radhamada were there living in that small straw hut. Gauranga also was there. We had one clay deity, the Mayapur Chandra. So then in 1973 the Lotus building was almost complete. Still like a construction site. But anyway, the deities moved in on the ground floor. Prabhupada's rooms were just about ready. So Prabhupada had instructed us that you can get Radha Madhava should be life size, 5 foot 10 inches, and Radharani should be 5 foot 8.5. And he said you can also get Astashaki, life size. And you can get Panchatattva, 7 feet tall. They should be made of metal, solid metal. And also for the new temple there will be a Parampara altar coming from 6 Goswamis. 15 deities there will be. So a special altar for the Parampara. And Lord Nrsimhadev will have his own temple there also. Lord Nrsimhadev appeared in Sridham Mayapur, first in the dream of the devotee. We were attacked by dacoits one night. Dacoits, not thief, he's very stealthily he comes. Dacoits, they just come gross. Now they have axes and things like that, and they just cut axes, and they cut the doors, the padlocks of the doors. Is just like brute force, and they just cut the door, bash the doors open with the axes. And they also had different bombs. They have these handmade bombs which explode on impact. And I think they were all a little bit drunk. And anyway, about 30 of them came 1 o'clock in the morning and throwing these bombs all over the place and breaking down the doors. And they stole Srimati Radharani. She was the target because they thought she was golden. She was very bright, polished. They thought golden. They contacted an astrologer. He said, gold is there. Because he's Ashtotata, there's 8 metals there, one of them is gold. But they just put a little token bit, generally, just a token gold. One of the 8 metals. But the astrologers calculated, yes, the gold is there. They thought solid gold, so that would have been a good target. Anyway, we got the deities back after a few days. So then the president, Bhavananda Prabhu at that time, he had a dream, and he was witnessing that incidents when all the dacoits come, and suddenly he saw this form of Lord Nrsimhadev appear there, and he just jumped in with the dacoits and he started to kill them. He started ripping them apart and tearing their throats. He was really ferocious. And so he woke up in the morning. He thought it was an astonishing dream. Maybe we should have a Nrsimhadev deity for protection. This is why we worship Lord Nrsimhadev. Prabhupada said, we worship Nrsimhadev for 3 reasons: for protecting the devotees, protecting the Guru, and protecting the mission. So, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established Lakshmi Nrsimhadev at Yogapith. They were having some trouble there, and then they installed that deity, and then the problems finished. And also Nanda Baba, he worships a form of Krishna in Goloka. He worships a form of Lord Nrsimhadev in Goloka to protect Krishna. That's the idea. So it's Parampara. Lord Nrsimhadev is our Ishtadeva of protection in ISKCON. Anyway, they took the picture with these stapati, these persons who make deities, carve the deities from stone. And they showed him a picture that they had drawn. And he said he identified this deity. He said this is called Sthana Ugra Nrsimha. Sthana means the column, and Ugra means angry. So this is Lord Nrsimhadev. He's just, at that point, he's just burst from the column. Really, really angry. He hasn't killed Hiranyakashipu yet. But he's been tolerating all the tormentation to Prahlad, his devotee. Tolerating. This was the last straw. He couldn't tolerate anymore. So he's just burst from the pillar. That is the Sthana Ugra Nrsimha, the most fearsome form of Lord Nrsimhadev. Only one thing was on his mind: let me kill that Hiranyakashipu. That was, and so they said, you can make the deity? He said, no way, I'm going to make that deity. Nobody worships this form of Lord Nrsimhadev, because nobody can approach this form of Lord Nrsimhadev. The idea is that you install a deity, so there will be some reciprocation. You can go, you ask for something, you want some benediction. Otherwise, what's the point of having a deity? But this form you cannot approach. Lakshmi couldn't approach, Prahlad couldn't approach. Not until after he had killed Hiranyakashipu. So why you worship a deity that can't reciprocate with you? He's angry. So he refused to make the deity. He said the last persons who had worshipped this deity, they had a gorgeous temple, elephant processions every day. Everything, gorgeous worship. Now that place is a ghost town, everybody's left. You want that to happen to Mayapur? Anyway, it took a long time, but they was going from different stapati, these who make the stone deities. But everyone refused, and finally the original one he agreed to do. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the predominating deity here in Sridham Mayapur. So when the Lord appears, his associates also appear with him. They take on forms to serve him. Just like when Krishna expands as Lord Ramachandra, then Radharani will expand as Sita, the perfect wife to serve Lord Ram in the form of Ramchandra. So, and Lord Balaram will expand as Lakshman, become the faithful brother of Lord Ram. So, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a predominating deity here in Sridham Mayapur, then all the other avatars and devotees who have descended with him, they're all in the same mood as Mahaprabhu. His mood is daya, is mercy, mercifulness. Adodya Dham, so merciful. So he's appearing in this mood of magnanimity, of giving Krishna consciousness. So all the other deities and personalities, they take on the mood of Chaitanya. They have that mood also. They simply want to give Krishna consciousness, give Krishna consciousness. So therefore this deity, he won't be harmful, because when he goes to Mayapur, he'll take on the mood of Mahaprabhu. So he'll be very magnanimous. He won't be fearful. So yeah, so then finally we established Lord Nrsimhadev. Yeah, and then there were some pastimes of Lord Nrsimhadev. He appeared to one of his pujaris. Baba Siddhi was at that time brahmachari. So he was, the brahmacharis were living in the chakra building on the ground floor. We had bunk beds. So he woke up in the morning because the bed was shaking. He thought the other brahmachari was getting up for Mangalarti. So he opened his eyes and Lord Nrsimhadev was sitting on the end of his bed. So he kind of he was so startled and surprised. He couldn't say anything. And then he tried to get up, and Lord Nrsimhadev just put his fingers on his shoulders and he said it felt like the whole weight of the universe was on my body. And he had marks there for many years. He had little red, didn't pierce him, but he had red marks there. And Lord Nrsimhadev spoke to him, and he said that when you're doing my worship, there's no need to be so fearful. You shouldn't be so frightened. You should do it in a peaceful state of mind. Because we're all scared. We had heard all these scary stories about Nrsimhadev, and so we were all kind of scared. But Lord Nrsimhadev was... another thing he said was that he said in the morning time, when you wake me up, you put the strong light, this spotlight. He said, no, first you should put on the small dim light, night light. Then after, when for Mangalarti, you can put the strong lights on. And then Lord Nrsimhadev disappeared. And Baba Siddhi, he was running up and down the corridor. All the brahmacharis, what's happening? What's happening? He couldn't say anything. Then finally he ran to the temple just before Mangalarti. Paid his obeisances there. Then he became a little bit pacified. Then he went back to the brahmachari ashram, but he said, I was wondering why everyone was staring at me. He said, then I realized I only had my coping on that. That's all I had on. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. There was another Mataji, Atmavidya Mataji, husband of Gokulananda, Prabhupada's disciple from England. Anyway, what had happened, there was one devotee, he used to collect stones, semi-precious stones. There was a devotee, he used to collect these semi-precious stones, so he had these cat's eyes, they're kind of pink brown, translucent. And he said, can you offer these to Lord Nrsimhadev as his eyes? So we tried them on and they looked really beautiful. They're brown, translucent, doe-like eyes. And so we said, okay. So then we was wearing these brown eyes. Then Mataji, she was paying her pranams in front of Lord Nrsimhadev. And she said, ever since I was a child, I had a problem with my eyes. If you can remove that problem, then it'll be good for my service. I can sing nicely for my service. And she said, then she heard a voice like coming from the deity room. Tell the pujari to give back my eyes. She said, was that just in imagination or what? And then again the voice said, tell the pujari to give back my eyes. And she was saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And the voice said, you go up into the pujari room and tell pujari that I want my eyes back. You don't worry about your eyes. You ask for my eyes back. So then the Mataji came and told me. And I said, okay, I'll consult with the senior devotees, because we can't act on every dream. So many people have dreams. So anyway, we were inquiring about the situation, and then one day I was sitting there in front of Lord Nrsimhadev, meditating on the point. And then I kind of got a dictation that, you know, I'm Ugra Nrsimha here, and you put these big doe-like brown eyes on me, and I'm angry Nrsimhadev. Put my other eyes back, my reddish eyes. I went, wow, yeah, that sounds more like it. So I told the other devotees. They agreed. Yeah. He's Ugra Nrsimha, he should have. So then we took the brown eyes off. He had his other eyes, Ugra, reddish. And the next morning, heard that Mataji's daughter went home and she said to her mother that, you know what happened today during at the Mangalarti time? Lord Nrsimhadev, he was wearing his old eyes again. And her mother said, oh, you know what else happened that when I woke up in the morning? My eye problem that I've had also has gone now. It's all disappeared. Bhagavan Nrsimhadev ki jai. There's another story that one Mataji, she came, just during the Gopurnima festival, Mataji from South America, and she said, I want to offer some mangoes to Lord Nrsimhadev. I said, you won't get them now, it's out of season. But if you go to Calcutta, they have a cold storage, you may be able to get mangoes there. I said, why do you want to get mangoes for Lord Nrsimhadev? She said, I had a dream. And I was walking with Lord Nrsimhadev. He was holding my hand and we were walking through the fields. And at one point, I asked him, what can I do for you? I asked him, how can I serve you? And Lord Nrsimhadev said, well, I like mangoes. If you like, you can bring some mangoes. So anyway, at the end of the festival, she came. And she managed to get a bag of mangoes. So she said, you can offer to Lord Nrsimhadev. I said to the pujaris, this Mataji, she's so lucky, so fortunate. Lord Nrsimhadev, he personally spoke to her, he held her hand, gave her instruction, direct instruction. She's so lucky. And then Mataji said, she said, yes. She said, actually there was more to the dream, but I didn't tell you. Because I told my Guru Maharaj. And he said, you don't say anything, don't tell anyone. But I can tell you now. And Lord Nrsimhadev said to me that my pujari is very dear to me. I'm going to take him back home in 1 or 2 days. And Mataji said, oh no, we don't do that. We like our pujari, don't take him away. So then Lord Nrsimhadev said, okay, I'll take away one of your leaders. Because that was the time when all the GBC were there during Korpurnima festival. The GBC meetings are going on, so all the leaders were there. And His Holiness Govinda Goswami, he was in his room in the conch building here. He was discussing Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's relationship in Puri with Jagannath and the whole mood of separation. And anyway, he was discussing these topics with some of the disciples and followers. And then he said, I feel like I would like to take a little bit of rest. So he lay down and then he left his body, he went back to Godhead. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Yeah, so he's a protective deity. Are we pleased, Lord Nrsimhadev? Yeah, this is a very special, unique form of Lord Nrsimhadev because of his attitude. He has many devotees in South India. They worship Lord Nrsimhadev, they're pure devotees. And when they leave their body, they go back to their Nrsimhaloka, the Vaikuntha planet, the Nrsimhaloka. So he's very much fond of his devotees, Bhaktavatsala. But in Mayapur, is even more special. Because it's the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Sankirtan mission was started here. Yeah, so because Mahaprabhu started the Sankirtan mission here in Sridham Mayapur, and all the devotees are here involved in the Sankirtan mission. So when the devotees of Gauranga approach Lord Nrsimhadev to protect them, we were asking Lord Nrsimhadev to protect us, protect our devotion, so we can serve him nicely, we can expand his mission. So he's removing the impediments, just like he removed Hiranyakashipu, who was a big impediment. But Lord Nrsimhadev here in Mayapur, he likes that the devotees go up and they ask him for protection and things like that, because when the devotee Gauranga Bhaktas ask him, Lord Nrsimhadev, then he says, oh, good, very good. Now I can do some savor also for this Sankirtan mission. I can get involved. If they're coming to me and ask me to help, to protect them, then I get savor. I get the service to Gauranga's Bhaktas, Sankirtan Bhaktas. So therefore Lord Nrsimhadev is very pleased with the Gauranga Bhaktas. So they get special mercy from Lord Nrsimhadev. So the idea is that, yeah, we want to please Lord Nrsimhadev by our service and service attitude, but we pray to him to remove the obstacles in the path of pure bhakti. So that he very much pleases him, that when he sees devotees are absorbed in spreading Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission, that very pleases him, and he likes to help the devotees of Gauranga, so that he gets a little part to play in the Yugadharma, or the Sankirtan mission, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sai Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Hare Krishna. Another time I felt the presence of Lord Nrsimhadev. It was the Sunday Arti was going on. By Prabhupada's Vyasasana. Maybe I was chanting Gayatri or something. Anyway, I finished, and then it was time for my next service. But somehow or another I was just sitting there, and it was one of those urging the mind, come on, get up and move, you have your other services to do now. But somehow or another it just didn't move. And then the Sunday Arti came to an end. Okay, then I got up and I had my service. So the Sunday Arti, it was Sunday Arti. Sunday Arti finished. And I was walking from Prabhupada's Vyasasana to my room, behind Radha Madhava at that time. And so I was just walking past Nrsimhadev. And just at that time, the Sunday Arti had finished. And the Prem Dhvani was going on, something like that. But it wasn't loud. Before that was a roaring kirtan. And then, as soon as the Prem Dhvani was finished, they would start Nrsimhadev. Namaste Nrsimhadev. Do the Nrsimhadev prayers. Loud again. So, anyway, so all the sound had stopped, the loud sound had stopped. I was just walking past Nrsimhadev, then I heard some sound like coming from outside, because there was a jolly wall. Jolly means it's got holes in it. Anyway, jolly, it's called, like net. The wall has holes in it. So as I walked past, just past Nrsimhadev temple, then I heard this sound, this groaning sound. Oh. I said, what's happening there? The sound is coming. And I thought maybe someone fell off the roof, because the construction had just finished, but there wasn't the proper railings or anything. So I ran up the stairs and I looked over and I saw there was a devotee. He had fallen off the roof, he was really beat up. And he was just groaning. And I managed to get some doctors and devotees and take him away. He broke a lot of bones and things. But I was just feeling also some presence of Lord Nrsimhadev. Because the moment I left and went there, all the sound in the temple stopped. And I could hear that. If I hadn't have done that and gone on, then Arti would have started up, Nrsimhadev Arti, and enough to get more kirtan. He may have left his body, he was in a very bad state. But Lord, just at that moment, Lord Nrsimhadev made everything, made the arrangements so everything was quiet and still. So this is the protective potency of Lord Nrsimhadev, to protect the devotees, the gurus, and the mission. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki